What's up, people? Today we are reviewing Cody Ziglar's Spider-Man Miles Morales issue number 5. It is the final issue in the saga of Reneem versus Miles Morales. It has gotten intense. She is about to burn down Miles' house. But before we get into any of that, please make sure to drop a like. And if you really want to chat, you want to talk about Miles, you want to talk about, what you've seen around, if you just want to talk in general, that's okay. I'm here. Drop a comment below. And if you like this content and maybe you just like me, even just a little bit, make sure to subscribe, hit that notification bell so you don't miss a single episode. If you have missed episodes previously, there is going to be a playlist in the top corner here of the other reviews. Make sure you check that out. And without further ado, well, let's just get into it. This is it. Miles has had enough. There's no more time for messing around. Lives are on the line. It is time to be a hero. Miles kicks things into overdrive, getting Rabble out of the way before jumping into his burning home. He hears his mom and punches through the wall to get his family to safety. But Rabble also has another gear to shift into. She has completely lost it at this point, blaming Miles for losing her family as she attempts to take his. And then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, Miles gets yet another power. Apparently, he can turn his Venom Blast into a fucking sword. Now, you may like this, you may hate this. You know what? I'm not gonna give my opinion on it just yet. In fact, drop your comments below right now. What do you think of this sword? Do you like it? Do you hate it? Do you think it makes him OP? Is it just weird? Is it befitting? Is it not befitting? Tell me right now. But we cut back to Rabble's secret base. Tiana is helping Genki get out of the chair while Misty is fighting off the scorpion tail. And once again, we get some hilarious dialogue, but not for us to laugh with, but to laugh at. Misty wishes she had her honey gun to fight off the tail. As Genki comes to, he's wondering what the hell is going on. And then Tiana says maybe the most MCU line I have read in any comic book recently. Quote, "Oh, you're wondering why Misty is fighting a crazy scorpion drone? Come on, big guy, we'll explain later." I was half waiting for a, "he's right behind me, isn't he?" But no, instead Misty gets knocked into the two of them, and Starling is not taking shit from anyone, and she goes off. As Genki comes to, Misty is focused on getting everyone to higher ground, so she flings Genki through the glass ceiling and into Starling to get out of the base. And the three gang beat the f*** out of the drone in a sick action scene. But the next action scene might be the best in Miles Morales history, so get ready. We cut back to Miles and Reneem battling it out. Reneem is off the deep end and is giving everything she has to ruin Miles. But as the two are exhausted, Miles tries to reason with her. He understands how she feels, but he knows she's wrong and tells her this won't make anything better. And just when you think Reneem is hearing him, she snaps again and keeps going after him. They both draw swords, and all we see is a bolt of lightning. And all that's left is Miles. His friends and family come to see him as he begins to black out. Misty and some woman in a white coat are taking him away. Eventually, Miles does come to as he wakes up in a hospital with his family. Miles is still blaming himself for putting his family in danger and the loss of their home. But he's embraced by his parents, and they remind him of how many people he saved, which is the most important thing. Then Misty comes into the room and checks on Miles, calling him her mentee. The Moraleses are shocked, but even more shocked when Misty throws them keys to a new home while their old home is getting repaired. Miles finishes off by writing in his journal about how thankful he is for his family and finally gives himself some credit and some much needed rest. Lastly, we see Agent Gao in some prison offering Scorpion a job. And that is the end of issue number 5. So we're 5 issues into Cody Ziglar's run, and despite what we've talked about before, the tough build up honestly to this moment and some very, very cringe writing in small doses, I'll say, I think this was an amazing ending. I think it was awesome. You can let me know how you feel about it in the comments below, but I'm just gonna get into it right here, right now. That ending was great. Pretty much top to bottom. I think this issue was easily the best by far for so many reasons, and I'm gonna get into all that. The fight scene between Miles and Rabble was the best in Miles comic history, and I would even say too, the monologue was also the best writing out of any Miles comic ever. Yes, while that might not be the highest bar in terms of how he's written in comics, you still gotta take what you can get, and I think Cody Ziglar has shown throughout these 5 issues that he's finding the voice for him, because Miles has been, as I've said before in other videos, he's kind of not really been established as a character in comics. He's kind of almost vague in a sense, and I think a lot of artists have a tough time kind of figuring out where exactly they want to take him. Moving forward with Ziglar, I think you can hope for him to improve things. And I think he already showed a lot of promise with a lot of other characters in general. And like I said, I think the writing with Miles is the most important thing, and by far, out of any writer ever, he has done him the best. But of course, I've given him credit for basically every single issue ever since I started this review series. Federico Vincentini, man, this guy is a legend. I mean, this was the best fight scene, not just because of Cody Ziglar's direction in it, obviously, but man, did he just illustrate the fuck out of this. I mean, we got some iconic panels in this one, and even though I mentioned the sword and the fact that it's a little weird and stuff, I think it gets completely overshadowed by the fact that this guy just makes it look so cool. Like, it doesn't matter how cringe the moment is, because his artwork is just next level, man. It's so good. And as well, I mean, as Rabble was starting to lose it, you could see him, like, you know, you'd see the mask start to fall off, and you see her eyes just lighting up and everything. I think it was so cool how he did that. You really felt her raw emotion in there, and that's really all down to him, to be honest with you. One of the best artists in the game right now. Of course, I'm sure Rabble will be back moving forward. How is she gonna be changed? How is she gonna be different? I think that she is in for definitely some change, because I think I'm not the only person who has mentioned my feelings about how the character went, but it would be interesting to see just more of a clear, and I guess just an ideology that makes more sense. So hopefully we see that moving forward. Obviously, we love the fact that Misty Knight is going to be sticking around to help Miles out. I think this can add to his character. I think it just adds a lot more to every single issue with her in it, because the plots are going to be a little bit more complex. I think they're going to be a little bit more thought out. I did really like that tease at the end. Of course, you can't forget about Agent Gal and Scorpion and everything like that. Agent Gal is interesting. I really like what he did with her in the first couple of issues there. She hadn't really appeared since the first two or so, and honestly, that cliffhanger was perfect. It's exactly what you want. So I'm really interested to see how she becomes a bigger part of Miles' life, and maybe even Scorpion too. That could be interesting as well. Those are my thoughts on issue 5, but leave your comments below. Tell me what you think about this series, this run. Negative thoughts, positives, maybe is there something I missed? Tell me in the comments below. We will be back though, no matter what Miles is doing, whether it's his normal run or this Carnage run that's been teased that's coming up too. We'll talk about that. Not exactly the most excited about Carnage. I have my feelings on him, but regardless, we'll get into that. Just stick with us here. Make sure to like, share, and subscribe so you don't miss that. And there's gonna be a lot more comic book content coming your way. Until then, see you guys in the next one.